the legislative session has reached nearly halfway, tensions are climbing. Chairman of the Judicial Committee, the mayor of Baltimore, and the governor have been slinging mud around the last 24 hours. Now the governor has changed his crime bill to an emergency legislation. WMAR 2 News' Don Harrison was at Annapolis today.
And since the legislative session started, 104 more people have been shot and 39 more people have been killed on the streets of Baltimore.
Governor Hogan said days before the session, his number one concern was fixing the violent crime problem in Baltimore. Hogan cited polls that showed Marylanders overwhelmingly agree. Hogan says he is frustrated by the lack of response from legislators to Baltimore City's crime problem.
Baltimore City would be drastically.
Earlier this week, Baltimore Mayor Jack Young made statements about the multi-billion-dollar education bill that now has tax raises proposed to pay for that bill. He reiterated that point today.
The legislation to invest in our young people is absolutely a matter of life and death.
No, that is not the top priority of Marylanders. That is not a crisis, and it is not a matter of life and death. The actual and the only life and death crisis is the people being shot and killed every single day on the streets of our largest city.
The governor has got to start leading and stop polling.
New chairman of the Judicial Proceedings Committee, Democrat Will Smith, said earlier the governor's bill will not be heard by his committee unless the mandatory sentencing part of the bill was taken out. Smith said he has seen no data that shows locking people up longer for repeated violent crime helps. Smith stated he is willing to discuss other issues of the governor's crime bill like parole and probation, lost and stolen guns, and more prosecutors. Governor Hogan responded by saying Smith should not be chairman of the committee if he will not address his crime bill.
So I thought it was a lost opportunity, I thought it was a cheap shot, and I thought it was intellectually dishonest and irresponsible, frankly.
Governor Hogan changed the designation of his crime bill and now has filed it as emergency legislation. That means if it is passed, it can be put into law immediately. In Annapolis, Don Harrison, WMAR 2 News.